Let's do that same process using GIMP, which is a free and open source photo processing software. I've often heard it, touted as the alternative to Photoshop. It is pretty common. It works a little differently. It's got its pros and cons, but you can certainly use it to do a lot of the stuff you do in Photoshop. So free download, if you go to gimp.org, hit the install button or the download button, you can get Windows or Mac or Linux, right? So a typical download, I'll let you figure that out. Once you have it installed, let's go to GIMP itself here, and this is what it looks like. So let's add in the image the same image we used, that Virgin Gorda that we used in the last. So I'm going to drag in the Virgin Gorda TIFF file. And there it is. Let me resize this so you can see it. So, that same image that has not been color graded, this is directly out of Sentinel from Soar, right? So, a little dull, a little odd, but still pretty good. But anyways, let's do some color manipulation here. All this information is in a blog post from the Soar website. They do a really good job of that. So if you just Google Soar plus GIMP, you'll get to this entry here. Blog pages, how to quickly enhance your free imagery, right? So I'm basically following this. If you want more information, I encourage you to go to their website and check this out, and this will give you more. I'm going to run through this to show you how easy it is, right? So let's go back into GIMP, and the first thing we're going to do is go into the exposure tab, right? So if we go to colors, exposure, you get this here. What we're going to do is, I've got my notes here. I typically use Darktable. So what we're going to do is change the exposure and the black levels. Let's move this out of the way so we can see what happens to the image. So if I drag that, I'm going to add some black, kind of make it a little more rich, and pump up the exposure a little bit as well, kind of like that. Okay there. And then we'll move on to the colors, color temperature. So color temperature, make this a little bit bigger. So I'm going to, with the original temperature, I'm going to drop that down a little bit. It's going to give it kind of a more of a natural feel, I think. And then pump up the intended temperature. And I kind of like them both up a little bit now that I'm looking at it a little bit more. That, kind of like the way the blues are variable there. And then if we go to shadows and highlights here, what we're going to do is pump up the white adjustment, making everything, the white parts really white. We'll go up all the way on that. And the shadows and highlights we can pump up as well, right? So I'm going to do the highlights there. So kind of like, I think that's pretty good. I like the ripples in the water. I've got a good, I like the blues here. So hit OK there. When we're done, right, and we get it the way we want, and like with Darktable, there are many other settings you can do. So feel free to do this however you want. But you can, and when you're done, you're going to go to File. I'm going to export this as put this into the screen here. What we're going to do is show it as a, it's saved as a TIFF already. I'm going to name it Virgin Gorda TIFF. We'll call this from GIMP in my downloads folder. That's fine. When I hit export, it's going to give me some options here. Make sure you have this save geotiff data checked. That's going to give you the latitude and longitude and make it a true TIFF that we can load into QGIS. So let's go into Q. Here's the last one I had. Let's just add it. So if I go to my open data source, I can just drag it on. Let me just do it that. I could go through here and find it there. That's one way. But let me just go find it. Virgin Gorda from TIFF. I'm going to drag it in here. And there it is. So now I've got, this is the one from GIMP, right? So, and a little bit, done a little bit differently. We can drag in the original too, so we can get a good sense of what it was. So this is the original. This is the GIMP one. This is the dark table one. So I can reproduce these any way I want. You can see you've got a lot of control in pulling colors in and out. It kind of depends what you're doing. Do you want a natural look? Do you want something that's going to pop and a little more cartoony and colorful? Really all depends on what you're looking at. So, but anyways, that's the same process in GIMP, and sky's the limit, right? You can really go a long way learning all the different ways you can change it. It's kind of nice. We don't have to worry about cropping anything or rotating or anything. It's locked in. When we grab it, we make sure we grab a big enough picture. When we put it into QGIS, it's going to be fine the way it is. So there you go. There is color correction using GIMP.